If you have been keeping an eye on crypto, and even if you haven't, I'm sure you would have come across one of the biggest news in crypto history pretty recently about Ethereum's update in its technology. Popularly known as the merge, most news describe it as the transition of Ethereum from the proof of work consensus mechanism to the proof of stake consensus mechanism. But what exactly is proof of stake, and why did one of the largest blockchains switch to it? Welcome to Crypto Skills, the channel that makes all the complicated crypto topics easy to understand. In today's video, we will explain what proof of stake is and why it is so important that several popular blockchains in today's time are leaning towards it. To understand the proof of stake consensus mechanism, we must first understand the consensus mechanism. Well, the concept of blockchain has emerged to counter the corporation that holds too much power over the common people like us. As a result, the Web3-based blockchains aren't controlled by any corporation but are community-driven. Therefore, the governance of blockchain isn't based on the unilateral decision by any person, but on the consensus among the people. Let me explain this with an example. Suppose a group of 5 friends decide to hang out together. 3 of them want to go out to a bar and 2 of them to a coffee shop. Now, whoever can convince others and get them to a consensus will decide where exactly all 5 of them will hang out. This is how the blockchain-based system works. Unlike the current system, which is like a company retreat, where the company decides all the things and the employees have a little say. Now, how this consensus is achieved is determined by various mechanisms. The earliest consensus mechanism, which is adopted by the first ever blockchain-based crypto, Bitcoin, is the proof of work consensus mechanism. The proof of work achieves consensus based on the solution proposed by the person who does the most work. Let's explain it with an example. Suppose a class of 50 students need to plan a school picnic. As a method to achieve the consensus, they are asked to solve a certain math problem. The one who solves it first will decide the destination, and everyone else will have to agree to that. All the students put in their best efforts and spend lots of time and energy solving the problem. It is more likely that the student with the best guidebooks and calculators will solve the problem faster than others. Say student X finished solving the problem first and is rewarded with the opportunity to make a decision. This is exactly how the proof of work mechanism works, where computers connected to the blockchain network compete to solve a complex problem for an opportunity to make a decision on the blockchain. All the computers spend a high amount of energy to get the work done before others. But the chances of winning are most likely for the players with high-speed computers with updated technology, and only that computer is rewarded. As a result of this competition to solve the complex math problem, extensive energy is spent by the computers connected with the blockchain network. Besides, the work done by only one player is acknowledged, and all the extensive energy spent by other players in the network gets wasted. Therefore, many environmentalists have criticized the proof-of-work systems for their extensive energy consumption over the years. According to a study, the Bitcoin network alone uses a tremendous amount of electricity that is enough to power 5 million households in the US or even power the entire country of New Zealand or Hungary. So in response to these drawbacks, a new consensus mechanism has emerged, the proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. Let us look at the same example to understand the concept of proof of stake. So the class of 50 students needs to plan a school picnic, but here, the approach to get them to do that is a little different. The students need not work on a math problem. Rather, the interested students need to deposit a certain amount of money as security to ascertain that they are serious about making a plan. Out of the students that have deposited or staked money, one gets picked and has the responsibility to plan the school picnic. In case he fails or intentionally spoils the picnic, his staked deposit will be confiscated. This helps to avoid any kind of neglect of duty. If he succeeds in planning, he can get his deposit back and is also entitled to some rewards, which acts as a motivator. Also, his plan is checked by all other students, which removes the chances of any mistakes or malified tricks in the planning. This is exactly how the proof of stake works. Under this mechanism, the interested people stake some amount of cryptocurrency in the blockchain as security, and out of them, one is selected as the validator. The validator is the one who has the responsibility to validate and add new blocks to a blockchain. So how does the lucky person get picked from the group of validators? Though it differs from blockchain to blockchain, there are primarily 3 methods based on which a validator is most likely to get picked. Firstly, the one with the highest stake is most likely to be picked as it is a sign of them being serious about contributing to the blockchain. Secondly, the one with the longest stake in the network can be chosen as they have been in the system for a while and may be reliable. Lastly, the validators may be picked randomly to provide everyone with an equal opportunity, thus making the system more decentralized. Most models usually combine all of these factors. Now, what happens if you get selected but you do not add a block, either because your computer is shut down, your internet is down, or simply because you just didn't want to? Well, the network does something called slashing, which means some of your staked tokens get taken away. The same thing happens if you enter the wrong transaction information, like give yourself some free crypto. The information entered is fact-checked by the network. If any wrong information is found, you could lose all your staked tokens. This is also the purpose of why the validators need to stake tokens to get selected. If you are selected from the validators, you better be a reliable node. The benefit of the proof-of-stake mechanism is that the speed of processing the transaction is much faster than the proof of work. Proof of work is continuously adjusted to become more difficult as more people join in the mining process. But proof of stake is much easier, so much so that your personal computer and even advanced smartphones can create the block fairly quickly. Also, since there's no competition among the validators, unlike mining, the computing power and energy usage are significantly lower. This is also better than proof of work from an environmental perspective. However, the proof of stake has downsides as well. As you might have guessed, the obvious disadvantage is the qualification to become a validator. Only an individual or an entity having the capacity to buy a sufficient amount of cryptocurrency can become a validator. So the consensus can be controlled by the wealthiest group. The solution to that is a modification called a delegated proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. In the delegated proof-of-stake, you can stake your coin and vote to delegate the power of being a validator to someone else. The rewards that are paid to the validator are then shared among the people who have voted for the validator. Most crypto projects now, including several large blockchain projects like Ethereum, Cardano, Cosmos, Solana, and Avalanche, have adopted the proof-of-stake consensus mechanism or its modification. What do you think about the proof-of-stake consensus mechanism? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit the like button to show appreciation for our efforts and consider subscribing so you don't miss our next bite-sized explainer video on crypto. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.